Welcome to the Show Me the Way podcast. I am your host, Andrea Miller, and I'm so excited to bring this show to you. Show Me the Way is a podcast dedicated to exploring the journeys of those who have faced adversity and found themselves on unexpected paths. We will have meaningful, thoughtful conversations about challenges we have faced and how we discovered and forged new direction. Prepare to be inspired and to uncover your own strength as you listen to relatable and motivating stories. Life has a way of twisting and turning, and we often need a fresh perspective to understand how to navigate. Let's show each other the way. Back with the Show Me the Way podcast. As you know, I dropped a few mini episodes over the last couple of months, and today I had some things on my mind, so thought I would do it again. I'm loving the Show Me the Way podcast, and all of our guests. We have dropped 44 episodes, and I have learned so much. Sometimes it's people that I have known for many, many years, and sometimes it's a referral or somebody that somebody else had just introduced me to that I knew would be a great guest and somebody that would have an interesting story to share. And it has been going so well. I have just learned all kinds of things about people I've known for a long time and new things about people that I've just met. Everybody has a story. I tell all of my guests or potential guests that every single person has a story. As you've been listening, you know that I started this podcast almost a year ago, September 2024, because I wanted to share the story of my son and his journey with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. He is going to be 16 in less than 2 months, which is insane. But my husband and I received the diagnosis for him when he was 5. So it's been quite a few years. And we have learned so much through the whole experience. Obviously, there's been a lot of ups and downs. Duchenne is a progressive muscle wasting disease. So, strength that he used to have, he no longer does. He used to walk, now he's in a wheelchair. But he has certainly taught us so much. And I wanted to share his story. As soon as I started sharing the story with people around me, I heard so many other stories of perspective, stories of life is short, go after your joy, shine your light. And I really wanted to put the podcast together because of that. So I shared that story in the very first episode. And since then, we've had so many guests that have talked about all kinds of things, from diagnoses for themselves, for their children, to moving to other locations, to moving out of the country for work, to trying different types of jobs, to changing career paths later in life, to going after their joy, finding what lights them up. Some people talked about health journeys. Some people talked about grief that they've been through. Some people just talked about all of their different life experiences. So every story is unique, and we can definitely learn from every single person. I've said this quite a few times since my guest, Victoria McKellar, was on. She talked to us about leaving a nugget everywhere you go. She was spot on. I've been saying it in all of my episodes. Thank you for the nugget that you've left us. If it's one little idea about how to get through our day, or if it's a huge idea about how to get through the next couple of months, there's all kinds of nuggets in the episode. So I hope as listeners, you are enjoying this podcast as much as I am. I really appreciate you being here. If you have just started listening, please go back, listen to other episodes. Like I said, my son's story is episode 1. And since then, we've had all kinds of different stories. I would love for you to listen, leave a rating and a review, give me feedback, because I'm trying to grow. I want to keep learning. I want to keep growing. I want this to reach more people. So the more information I get out there, and then the more feedback that I take and learn from, the better. So today's mini episode, I went through and I did some research and understanding what would be a great way to do mini episodes, what kind of content people might want to hear. And I've got a couple of pieces of direction. I've got some information that I was able to get through my research. And one of the episodes that was suggested was guests who have found strength through unexpected change. Well, I think all of the guests on this show have found strength through unexpected change. So I could really tie that back to any previous episode. But if you know me personally, you know that I am obsessed with the Detroit Tigers, especially this year. The team is really amazing to watch. I've been a fan forever, even in the very, very rough days when they would never win a game. And then 20 some years ago, the team really had potential and I really got back into them. It was a very exciting time to be a Detroit Tigers fan. And after not winning the World Series, since then it seems like it's been a rebuilding period. We've had some great players and we've had a lot of fun, but we haven't really been a contender again until this year. And it's been so fun to watch this team play. And what's great is it's a younger group of people. It's a group of men working together. And what I keep thinking about every time I watch them play is that they never give up. I have been a sports person for my whole life. I've been around sports. I've played sports. My older son is a competitive soccer player. So I have been a soccer mom for 15 years or more. It's always been something that is huge with our family. My husband is a huge football fan, Michigan football. You know that. I've talked about it a few times on this show. My kids really had no choice when they were born. They needed to love sports. And now I've got a younger son who is doing sports radio. So sports is a huge part of our family. And I have seen many teams that when they're down, when it looks like things aren't going their way, they give up. It's easy for us to do. We do it all the time in life. I thought life was going to go this way and it decided to head a different way. I'm on a different path than I expected. I'm going to be down about that and I'm going to maybe not think positively and think that it's time to throw in the towel. We have all been there, no matter how positive we can be, no matter the positive messages that I share with others. I have been in those moments where you think, this is it. This isn't the job for me. I'm not doing well. As a realtor, I've had many a days where it's like, oh, this is not the right career for me. I'm not selling houses. So we've all had times where we not necessarily completely throw in the towel, but kind of give up like, oh, this is not it right now. Many teams when they're playing a game, with baseball, you're down a couple of runs. It's difficult to bring the runs back up. It's an offensive and a defensive situation. You need the pitcher to have some really great pitches and strike people out. You need your outfielders to make sure they don't make any errors. You need people to make exceptional plays to really make a difference. You also need the bat. You need to get up. You need to get on base. You need to make sure that you put your team in a position to score. So a lot of times if a team is down 2-3 runs, that team might give up. They might be done. But something I continue to say, which I just said, is that Detroit Tigers this season, they never give up. And how I can tie that back in is I have had many guests. Obviously, every single guest I've talked to has found strength through unexpected change. But I want to highlight a couple of the guests that really decided, I'm not giving up. And again, they're going to have bad days. The Tigers lose games. The pitcher sometimes makes mistakes. The outfielders have errors. The shortstop bumbles a ball. The catcher misses a pitch and it goes past him and somebody scores. It happens all of the time. But overall, if you have that mentality to never give up, I just think it's just an amazing way to be. It really makes me think a lot about my son. You've heard so many things about him throughout this podcast, but when we found out about his diagnosis early on, as you can imagine, we weren't sure how to go forward. What was going to happen next? What were the next steps? How are we going to create our new normal? I don't love to say that, but you understand what I'm saying there. And I'll never forget, he was only 5 years old, and my sister, all of my family, they've been extremely supportive throughout the whole process. But at the time, my older sister was very close to everything that was going on, and she had purchased a gift for him. I don't know if it was just because or if it was for Christmas or what, but it was a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle pajama set, complete with the eye mask, everything. And I believe it was Raphael, and he put the outfit on, and my sister was over, and we were sitting on our couch, and we were chatting, trying not to say too much in front of him, but we were talking a lot about what was happening and doctor's appointments and whatnot. And he was moving around in front of us, and he made a couple of ninja moves, and he said, Raphael never gives up. And I remember it just hit me. Like, yeah, we are never giving up. We are going after joy in this short life. We are going to find the best doctors. We're going to get into trials if we can. We are never just going to throw in the towel. We're going to keep moving forward and finding the best situation for him. And I think that is such good perspective, and it's so different than what I had ever done before. I never really said to other people, never give up, keep going. There's so much more out there. I hadn't dealt with a lot of adversity. And for my 5-year-old to make that statement in front of all of us, it really hit me. And I remember I put together this binder of medical information early on, and I ended up taking a picture of him in this outfit. I placed that picture on top of my binder and I said, never give up. And that has just been a motto: never give up, never stop going after your joy, never throw the towel in. And I think that is just such great perspective, like I said, and I just think it's important to remember. So, a couple of the episodes I would love for you to go back and listen to: episode 34 and 35. One was with Kelly Lodish, and the other was Kari Grunwald. Both of those women, it's very interesting. I recorded their interviews on the same day. I had no idea that they would have so many similarities and so many things in common. Both of them are survivors of breast cancer. Both of them are very busy moms. Both of them are driven. Kelly is an extremely successful businesswoman. She has been through a lot. She told us her story about having a divorce and then being a single mom and raising children, then getting this breast cancer diagnosis, and how difficult all of that was, but how she pulled strength from her family and from things that her dad had always told her. And just from everything that she had done in her life, she pulled strength and she said, I'm not giving up. I'm going to keep going and finding the best situation for me and my children. And so that is a beautiful story of not giving up. And I definitely want to share an excerpt of that here. And then also, Kari Grunwald, she's a busy mom. She's involved in education. She's involved in therapy and supporting others and helping others find their strength. She is a cycle instructor, encouraging people to have strength through that. And then she receives this horrible diagnosis that really shook her to the core, which it would shake any of us. But instead of just sitting there and having pity for herself and being so sad that things aren't working out, she decided the same thing. I'm not going to give up. I have to be here for my children. I have to continue to share my story so other people can learn from it. And I just think they're both such strong, passionate women. The episodes, the interviews were so great, and we can all learn so much from each of them and each of their different perspective and the similarities. And they are perfect examples of us not giving up. So I would definitely encourage you to go back and listen to episodes 34 and 35. And in the meantime, here are some excerpts from both of those episodes with Kelly and Kari.
And I want to teach them the important things that help me get through all these things in life. Because it's just like sometimes you don't like your math teacher, sometimes you don't like your boss, sometimes you don't like this, sometimes your coach is a jerk, whatever. You're going to be able to get through that if you have some foundation and understanding that sometimes times are tough and you just got to put your bootstraps up, and maybe it's say the rosary if you pray, maybe it's meditate, yoga,
Yeah.
go running. A lot of people
Yeah.
I know that are big runners, that's their escape. But it will get better.
My fight song was called Turbulence by Pink, and that's exactly what this was. This is it. This is exactly what it is. It's a bump in the road. It's just turbulence. I will get through this. I know I can do this. So yeah,
Fight song. That's awesome.
yes, that was it. And I literally, yeah, like I listen to that almost every day. The words in it, like when you listen to the words, that those became like my fight song words, and I would send them to people, and then people would send me cards with those lyrics in it.
And Kelly's episode 34, is called Too Tough for Them, Just Right for Us. Again, something that she learned from her dad and from her family, and that just gave her the motivation to keep going. And Carrie's episode 35 is Rising Through the Turbulence. She gave us Turbulence as her theme song from Pink, and the words of that are so very true about never giving up, just rising through difficulties. And both of these women just really show us how important it is to never give up. I also want to highlight another episode. It was very early on. It was with somebody that I worked with a long time ago, Melanie Uzarek. Her episode was 21, and it's The World Needs More of Me. And Melanie talks about her health diagnosis and she just keeps saying, I can't give up because the world needs more of me. I have more to offer. I have to go continue to educate and continue to tell people. And she told us a lot about how organ donation can be life-saving. We went through a lot of that. So she has this education that she wants to continue to put out there in the world. So I would also encourage you to go listen to episode 21 with Melanie. And so I think the point and the reason that I really wanted to come on here and do a mini episode today is just to encourage us all to never give up, to keep going after our goals, to keep doing things, even if it's messy. You know, I say that quite a bit. And to just continue to spread our message, get our education out there, share what we've been through and what we've learned, because there's so many people out there that need to hear from us. And again, if you're looking for a sports team that is going to keep going, even if they're down, it's the Detroit Tigers. Now, like I said, they don't win every day, but so many times I look at them, I watch the faces of the people on the team. They don't stop. They come up and they try to do their job throughout the entire game. And that is very difficult to do, especially in 9 innings of baseball. So the reminder today is, first of all, please go listen to Show Me the Way. There's so many amazing stories and things for you to gain perspective from and to feel like you're not alone, but also great reminders, especially episode 34, 35, and 21 about finding strength through unexpected change, about sharing what you have learned with others, and about never giving up. That is a message I want to continue to put out there. It's a great reminder for me today. It's a great reminder that my son has brought that to me so many years ago. So I love thinking back to that story. But yeah, I hope you are enjoying hearing all of this and gaining this knowledge and this perspective from what people have been through. If there's something going on in your life right now, first of all, again, I'll remind you, you are not alone. And everything is relative. So even if you think it's not as important as maybe something else that someone else is going through, just remember it's something you have going on and it's something that's impacting you and your family. And so it is important. It is great that you can find outlets, that you can reach out to people, find your community, find the people that you can trust, listen to podcasts. If it's not Show Me the Way, find something else that inspires and motivates you or helps you get through this. But I would also encourage you to check out Show Me the Way. And if you have a story, if you're thinking, gosh, I want to share, I would love to have you as a guest. We are going to keep rolling into season 2. I'm still thinking about the structure and what our focus will be. I definitely love how much we have talked about community and your tribe and your village. So I think that's going to be incorporated a little bit more as we continue. But I'm excited to keep bringing the Show Me the Way podcast to you. I'm excited for us to continue to learn from one another, to grow together. We are meant to do that. And I encourage you today, don't give up. Whatever's going on in your day, little, big, whatever it is, don't give up. If you have a new business you started and it's been challenging, but you still feel very passionate about it, don't give up. If you have a child who you're having difficulty with right now, maybe discipline's not working, maybe the type of discipline you used for your older child isn't working for your younger child. I have been there. Don't give up. Ask questions, research, seek out help, ask other people that have been through similar situations, and try to find the best way to move forward. If you are thinking about moving, I've mentioned this quite a bit because I'm a realtor, and you really want to find the perfect place, but you aren't sure where and you don't know how, don't give up. Find your realtor, find a person that can support you and help you and guide you. If you are not feeling like yourself these days, maybe you're having some health concerns, you're not feeling as well as you had been, don't give up. Find what makes you feel better. Maybe you need more sunlight. Maybe you need to meet up with some friends. Maybe you need to take daily walks because it'll make you feel more energized. Or if it's something deeper than that, seek out support. Go to seminars, speak to other people that have been through what you're trying to go through, talk to doctors, make appointments. Don't give up. Don't ever just think, this is just how life is. Life is way too short. If there's one thing I've really learned, really, really, really learned from my son, is that tomorrow is not promised. So don't give up. Go after your joy, go after what lights you up, go after what will make you happy or feel better in life. And if you're not getting good direction in one place, go somewhere else. Or like I said, talk to somebody that you think has been through what you've been through or similar. So the main message today is never give up. Find that strength. We all have it within us. We all have strength to get through what God puts in front of us. And with that, I will wrap up my mini episode, but please take a listen to some of those episodes that I talked about. Episode 34, 35, and 21 with Kelly, Kari, and Melanie. Those are great examples about not giving up. And if you've got a story to share in the same regard, let's talk. Go out, show each other the way, and keep listening and let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me for the Show Me the Way podcast. I truly appreciate you tuning in to today's episode about overcoming adversity and finding your path. I hope it brought you new insights, empowered you with perspective, and inspired you to find joy in your journey. If this episode touched your heart, don't forget to leave a quick review as it will help us reach and motivate more people. Until next time, keep seeking the light and showing the way.